Today's video is about budgeting for rent in high-cost living areas. Imagine Sarah, a 26-year-old marketing professional who recently moved to Los Angeles. After receiving a job offer with a salary of $75,000 per year, she felt excited and confident about her financial future. However, after securing a one-bedroom apartment for $2,300 per month, paying for utilities, transportation, groceries, insurance, and student loans, she discovered that very little money remained at the end of each month. Despite earning what many would consider a respectable income, Sarah constantly worried about unexpected expenses and struggled to save for the future. Sarah's experience reflects a reality faced by millions of people living in high-cost cities. While income levels may appear attractive on paper, the cost of housing often consumes such a large percentage of earnings that financial security feels increasingly out of reach. One reason this happens is the psychological effect known as scarcity mindset. Consider Michael, a software engineer in San Francisco. Although he earned over $120,000 annually, nearly half of his take-home pay went toward rent. Every financial decision became mentally exhausting. When his friends invited him out for dinner, he spent hours calculating whether he could afford the expense. Instead of focusing on long-term goals, such as investing or purchasing a home, he became consumed by immediate financial concerns. Psychologists explain that when people experience ongoing financial pressure, the brain shifts into survival mode. This is not a sign of weakness or poor money management. It is a natural response to perceived resource scarcity. The result is that financial stress can reduce decision-making quality, increase anxiety, and make long-term planning more difficult. Housing costs affect people emotionally because housing is connected to fundamental human needs. Consider Maria, a single mother living in New York City. Every year, she worried about lease renewals because a rent increase could force her family to move schools and neighborhoods. For Maria, rent was not simply a monthly bill. It represented stability, safety, and her children's future. This emotional connection explains why housing costs often create more stress than other financial obligations. Financial experts often categorize housing affordability into different zones. For example, David, a nurse in Dallas, spends approximately 25% of his take-home income on housing. This allows him to contribute to retirement accounts, maintain an emergency fund, and occasionally take vacations. He experiences relatively little financial stress. In contrast, Jessica, a recent graduate living in Seattle, spends nearly 50% of her income on rent because she wanted to live in a trendy downtown neighborhood close to work. Although she enjoys the location, she struggles to save money and often relies on credit cards when unexpected expenses arise. The difference between David and Jessica demonstrates how housing costs can significantly influence financial stability, even when incomes are similar. Another common challenge is lifestyle inflation. Consider Kevin, who received a promotion that increased his salary from $70,000 to $95,000 per year. Initially, he planned to save the additional income. However, he upgraded to a luxury apartment, purchased a newer vehicle, and began dining out more frequently. Within a year, he found himself living paycheck to paycheck despite earning substantially more money. This phenomenon, known as hedonic adaptation, affects nearly everyone. Human beings quickly become accustomed to improved living standards. The excitement of a larger apartment or luxury amenities fades, but the higher monthly expenses remain. This is why many high-income earners feel financially stressed despite earning significantly above average salaries. On the other hand, consider Emily, who also received a substantial raise. Instead of increasing her housing expenses, she remained in her existing apartment and directed the additional income toward investments and savings. Over 5 years, she accumulated a six-figure investment portfolio while maintaining financial flexibility. Her example illustrates how controlling lifestyle inflation can dramatically accelerate wealth building. One of the most effective strategies used by financial professionals is reverse budgeting. Consider Alex, a financial analyst living in Chicago. Each month, he automatically transfers money into retirement accounts, emergency savings, and investment funds immediately after receiving his paycheck. Only afterward does he allocate money toward rent and discretionary spending. By prioritizing future goals first, Alex avoids the common trap of spending everything that remains available. This approach forces every major expense, including housing, to compete with long-term objectives. Rather than asking, "Can I afford this apartment?" Alex asks, "Can I afford this apartment while still investing in my future?" This subtle shift in thinking has helped him build significant financial security. The emotional consequences of financial stress extend beyond personal finances. A survey of married couples frequently identifies money as one of the leading causes of relationship conflict. Consider Ryan and Ashley, a young couple living in Boston. Their rent consumed nearly half of their combined income. Every unexpected expense led to arguments about spending priorities and financial responsibilities. When they eventually downsized to a less expensive apartment, they discovered that reducing financial pressure improved not only their finances, but also their relationship. This example highlights an important truth. Budgeting is not merely about numbers. It is about reducing stress, increasing freedom, and improving overall quality of life. Living in a high-cost city is not necessarily a mistake. Cities such as Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, and Seattle often provide access to exceptional career opportunities, professional networks, and higher earning potential. However, these opportunities only translate into long-term wealth when accompanied by intentional financial decisions. The most financially successful individuals in expensive cities are rarely those with the highest incomes alone. Instead, they're the people who understand the psychological forces influencing spending behavior, resist unnecessary lifestyle inflation, and maintain a balance between present enjoyment and future security. Ultimately, budgeting for rent in high-cost living areas is not about deprivation. It is about creating a financial structure that supports both emotional well-being and long-term success. By understanding the psychological effects of financial stress, learning from real-life examples, and adopting disciplined financial habits, individuals can transform expensive cities from sources of anxiety into platforms for opportunity and growth. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I will cover the subscription trap budget and how invisible monthly payments quietly drain your wealth. If this video helped you understand budgeting better, subscribe to Budget and Build for more beginner-friendly finance tutorials.